On the Fox News program, The Five, they ran a segment of how the mainstream media and the Obama administration misled the public on the embassy attacks in Libya, which had a lot of interesting opinions and facts. Here it is. Listen for yourself.
Is the terror attack in Libya becoming a political scandal for the White House? On Fox News Sunday, Chris Wallace pressed former White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs about it. Listen.
Why did Ambassador Rice give the American people bad information?
Well, I think as you heard Ambassador Rice say, the best information that we had at the point in which she gave that answer is the answer that she gave. You saw the White House say that this was a terror attack, and nobody wants to get to the bottom of this more than the President and the Secretary of State so that we can protect our missions and our consulates throughout the world and remain engaged. Absolutely no one intentionally or unintentionally misled anybody involved in this. Absolutely not.
The standard among many who disagree. Listen to what he wrote. He writes, quote, "For more than a week, the Obama administration misled the country about what happened. This isn't just a problem, it is a scandal." Dana, how do you read it?
Well, as a former spokesperson, I think I would have refused to go out on the Sunday shows on this past weekend because as a former person, you don't know what you don't know. There was misleading, whether it was intentional or not. Something happened where the administration for 10 days said one thing and it turns out to be the other, and they tried to blow that off. The other thing is, I wonder where the Director of National Intelligence is. Where is the National Security Council?
James Clapper? We don't even know if he still works there.
Well, they're happy to be quoted in the New York Times when they're taking victory laps, but then they won't come on to talk about what they knew or what they did not know, which is the more important question, and what they're doing to trying to find out about it. So I would have refused to go on.
And you know, on top of that, Eric, Senator Levin, who is probably the most hard right-left guy in the Senate, says, asked if it was planned, he says it looks like it was. Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of the House Intelligence Committee said this was not just a mob that got out of hand.
Right.
So the Democrats don't even buy the storyline, and it's a bigger story today than it was on 9/11.
It's not even a storyline, Brian. It's all politics. They're coming up for three things. Number one, President Obama went to Vegas, picked up the check that we talked about earlier, in just hours after Ambassador
September
Stevens was
12th.
killed. Just hours after. Number two, it's clear that it's been reported. Even the interim president of Libya said it's a pre-planned attack, and it's not because of 9/11. 9/11's symbolic. The pre-planned attack, it was a retaliation from all these victory laps that the Obama administration has done over bin Laden.
Perhaps.
We killed bin Laden. We killed bin Laden. You know what they said? Enough is enough. So they punch us. Problem is we don't punch back. And number three, a complete lack and failure of information leading up to the death of the ambassador.
There should be headlines screaming scandal. I agree with Stephen Hayes. This is outrageous, and everybody knew it, and we had to sit there and act like everyone's stupid and sitting in the dunce row. I mean, that's ridiculous. And everyone overseas has been writing about it. It's very obvious, if anyone has any kind of common sense or intelligence about how these things go down in the Middle East, that this was something that was planned and coordinated, not dudes sitting around having s'mores, like they said.
Right. Now, the underwear bomber, we remember he was about to land in Michigan, and everyone said, well, he's an isolated extremist. It turns out he was trained by al-Qaeda, and there was a plan in place. The Fort Hood shooter was workplace violence, but we find out that he was writing to Al-Awlaki, so it's a regular correspondence. Bob, President Bush, the whole administration for 8 years, let us know that this is more than a generation of a war on terror. It's not going to be over in 8 years or 12 years. Why is the administration afraid of this war?
Brian, listen, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but the day this happened, I said that this was a terrorist attack.
No, I watched.
You did say that.
And it was very clear to me that it was a terrorist attack based on just the obvious, I think, in my own experience in the intelligence community. But leaving that aside, I don't think this is a scandal. I think it's scandalous the way it played out politically. I mean, I would never have let Rice come out and say these things until I knew what I was talking about.
But Bob, if it's so obvious and you know it, then why did the administration, clueless.com, have no idea and lie to everybody and insult us?
Here's the difference. I don't think that they lied. I think they didn't know.
You just said it was so obvious.
No, I thought it was obvious,
so
yes.
You only get it, but they don't? So why are they in charge? Why do they have the office?
Because what they did was she stepped out without having the intelligence she needed to have. She shouldn't have done it. And at the minimum, what they should have said was, it could have been, it could not have been, we don't know the answer.
Are you trying to say, hold on, are you trying to say that Ambassador Rice wrote her own script for that?
No, not at all.
Well, she was clearly told by the State Department, this is what we're going with,
I'm saying that from a political standpoint, that is scandalous.
But the problem is, Bob, prior to her saying that, we have the interim president, I can't remember his name, the Libyan interim president, saying it was pre-planned.
Right
Subsequent
after her
to that,
in the interview.
Subsequent to that, they came out and said, well, obviously, or it's self-evident that it was pre-planned.
When we all figured out that this was self-planned, there's no way you could take it into a court of law and prove it.
She just did the party line. Well, now you're walking it back, Bob.
No,
you said it was obvious.
But Bob, I think you're as confused as we are, so you bring us inside an administration. Why is it to their benefit to be so confused?
Well, it certainly helped them with the press, because do you see it screaming on the front page of every?
Right.
You don't see it. It's not constant. They're talking about everything else, and President Obama gets to be on The View.
But Dana, it's still alive today. CBS is reporting it.
Well, and CBS has done some good reporting. So has Reuters on this, and I don't think they should let up. I don't think they will. The facts should just take us where they take us, and the politics set it aside. If they really believe that people aren't going to vote on this, and they're going to vote on the economy and which president could be better, Romney or Obama, fine. Then let's just be honest about what happened.
But the
they
Times
covered
is
it up.
running the climate change in Greenland.
Because that's really important.
That's a national security threat.
Because they want to win.
Problem,
They want to win again. They want to keep the White House. And if they admit their epic fail on the part of the State Department,
can I say this is the first time Kimberly has yelled at me on camera? You are actually yelling at me.
I'm mad.
She's yelling at me too because she knows her guy's going down.
Well, say 27 minutes out before the top of the